Hello, and welcome to On the Prowl. I'm your host, Brandon Thomas. Today we're going to talk to the Hahnville Tigers head coach, Coach Nick Saltafromaggio, about his team's incredible win against their rivals, the Destrehan Wildcats. And we'll take a look ahead at the team's matchup Friday against the 4-0 Terrebonne Tigers. On the Prowl starts right now. Welcome back to On the Prowl. I'm here today with Hahnville Fighting Tigers master shot caller, Coach Nick Saltafromaggio. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Coach, your team was in a dark place last week, losing 21-6 against the then winless Brother Martin team, but rose from the ashes like a fired phoenix and beat Destrehan 20-13. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, you know, buddy, you're on a team, so we were definitely down in the dumps for a week, and there's no explanation to it. We couldn't explain it. We couldn't explain it in our locker room. We couldn't explain it outside of the locker room. There's no explanation for it, but it's not the first time that's happened to football teams, and it's not going to be the last time it happens to football teams. I just hope it's the last time it happens to a Hahnville football team.
Yes, sir.
But, you know, we kept saying all along, and you guys have heard me say, it's never going to be about our opponent. You know, it's always going to be about us. Mm-hmm. And if we take care of what we're supposed to do, practice hard, have great camaraderie in our locker room, be great teammates, and have an unbelievable desire to win, we're going to win every Friday night. Okay. And we were able to put the Brother Martin game behind us and, you know, go out and beat a very, very good, very, very talented, very, very well-coached Destrehan team.
Okay. Now let's get a look at the first half highlights.
You know, we had to play defense first in the game, and I thought our kids did a very, very good job, especially defending Emory. You could see that the pursuit, the number of people running to the football was just tremendous. Logan Robert with a great tackle on the edge during the game. And then we come up again, and Connor Fennedy making a nice play on a fourth down pass deep in our territory. We're able to get the stop. And then we came right down and, you know, kind of do what we do best, which is run the football. One of the big adjustments we made, kind of an unsung hero Friday night, was the play of John Pearsall.
Yes, sir.
We've been looking for a fullback, a kid who just is unselfish, isn't going to get a lot of carries, and going to stick his nose up in there and knock some people off the ball. Mm-hmm. And John helped us do that. Destrehan came right down, drove down the field again, but we get a nice fourth down stop by Terrebonne, which gives us the ball back. Destrehan kicked the field goal, and then really what I thought a pivotal play in the game was we answered the field goal right away. We run lead option with Jaquan Jackson, and you know, he's just such a tremendous athlete, and we get a long run for the score, and we get up 14-3. But Destrehan, you know, having the will of a champion, they drive right back down the field, and we get a great play by Lloyd Jones, who's been playing lights out defensive back for us. He's just had a great year for us. And that pick kind of changed the momentum of the game for us then and there. And we went on after that interception, Brandon, and really kind of felt like, you know what, we belong. We're good enough to win this thing. And, you know, from that point on, early in the game, we just felt like we were the better football team. We were going to play better that night. And, you know, we rose to the challenge of playing a champion. And so I can't say enough about how we played that first quarter of football.
Had the will to win.
You absolutely have to have the desire to win. Mm-hmm. You know, Jaquan on a second and long makes a nice throw to Anthony, and he almost pops it. He almost gets through there. Great pursuit by the Destrehan kid to make the tackle up the field. Still looking for that first touchdown pass. You know. Right. Unfortunately, we turned the ball over on downs. We didn't complete the drive to get the ball back to the Destrehan kids, and Khalil Mason comes up, makes a nice play. Could have been a tough play for us, but Khalil comes up, makes a nice play, and we go in at halftime leading 14-3. And just really, probably fundamentally the best half of football we've played in a long time.
That's good. All right, Coach, your boys rolled in the Wildcat Stadium 1-2 and knew how important this game was. What was the message preached over the week?
Well, again, let's take care of Hahnville. Don't worry about who your opponent is. We talked about that. And, we also talked a little bit about if you're going to be the type of football team that we think we are, you can't start a season 1-3. You can't. And it was important in that respect that we had to prove that we were good. And, you can't prove you're good until you beat somebody who's really, really good.
Right.
And we had an opportunity against John Ehret. We shot ourselves in the foot. Then we come out and we lay an egg against Brother Martin. And, we even said the old quote, "You are what your record says you are." And at that time we were 1-2, and the only win we had was against a winless West Jeff team. So to come out and do what we did Friday night against, in my opinion, the list of those type of football programs is very short in this area. There's Curtis, there's Rummel, and then there's Destrehan. Mm-hmm. And I like to think that we're one of those programs.
Why not Hahnville?
Right, why not Hahnville? We talked about it all week. Why not Hahnville? And we've had a great measure of success. And I felt like last year when we beat St. Thomas More that it would propel us to be in that type of program. But we took a step back this year with the loss to Brother Martin. But now I think we've taken a giant leap forward, that our football program is now one of those programs where people are going to say, man, Hahnville's back where they need to be. And I'll tell you, Brandon, I was just thinking, you got to play them one at a time. And this week we have a very big contest again. But if we're able to do what we've done the last couple of years, which is to run the table after Destrehan, mm-hmm. We've won every game that I've been the head coach at Hahnville after the Destrehan game. Right. You guys, because you're a senior, and Jarrell's in here, he's a senior. That senior group will finish their 4-year career. If we can do what I think we're capable of doing, and if you guys continue to work the way you're working, you guys will finish your senior year, your career at Hahnville with a 30-10 regular season record.
That's incredible.
And again, if we do finish out with the wins, mm-hmm. You'll finish as district champions.
Yes,
and so there's a lot for us to play for. You guys have reestablished our program, and I'm proud of you, and I just want to keep it going.
Thank you, Coach. Your offense made a statement on his first drive, moving the ball 70 yards on the ground and scoring with a great blocking up front by your stout offensive line, moving through the defense like a hot knife through butter. Do you feel like this is a big turnaround from last week's performance?
Yeah, absolutely. It really was. And, I mean, because you're part of that front group being a tight end, you guys work really, really hard. I think, and you know how I feel about the offensive line. It's my favorite part of the team.
Right.
You guys, in my opinion, work harder than everybody else on our football team. So when I go out and see you guys play like you played Friday night, I know it's because of what you do on the practice field with Coach Beaudry and Coach Vanette. And when you don't do it, it kind of boggles my mind, because you guys have worked very, very hard this year. All the way through the summer, you had a great weight room summer, and everything you've done for us as an offensive line, it doesn't shock me when you play well. It shocks me when you don't play well, because I know the effort you put into it.
Thank you, Coach. Destrehan's big-time running back, John Emery, you kind of gave him more than he can chew. With Torrin Barr stunning him in the red zone with a big hit, it kind of made him ineffective for the rest of the game with only 61 rushing yards.
Yeah, I think the big thing for us was we played classic 3-3 stack defense Friday night, which was number one because of Dalton Melançon's kicking and punting. We kept the field long. Mm-hmm. That was giant for us. So we allowed Destrehan to move the ball 25 to 25. We were very, very passive in what we were doing. But when they got into that plus 25, plus 20 kind of red zone area, that's when we heated it up a little bit. We put another lineman in the game, got into some of our blitz stuff. And, again, hats off to what we did defensively. Coach Stroud, Coach Irwin, Coach Houston, Coach Thompson, those guys had a great game plan. They stuck with the flow of the game. And I'm going to tell you kind of another guy that went unsung during the night was Hunter LeBlanc. Hunter LeBlanc did a great job protecting the interior of the field, the hash mark part of the field. And when those kind of things are going on defensively, you don't give up the big play.
Right.
You're going to win a lot of football games.
Right. Thanks, Coach. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with the second half highlights. Welcome back. I'm still here with the master shot caller of the Hahnville Tigers, Coach Schultz. Let's take a look at the second half highlights.
We came out, and again, we haven't been great when we get the ball to start the second half. But I think Friday night, we did what we needed to do. We get a nice run on power. We really didn't run a whole lot of different plays against these guys. We ran a lot of power. We ran a lot of toss. Toss is a great play for us because of Anthony's explosiveness. But it's also a great play for us because we get a lot of numbers on the edge, which is a perfect example here. We chop a bunch of guys down, and chances are if you have to chase number 7, you're not going to catch him. So we go right in and get the touchdown to start the second half. And
87 really sealed the edge. Right?
Yeah, 87 did a great job for us. Noah Zarang has done an outstanding job blocking the perimeter, and just, like I said, when you can get him on the edge, there's not a lot of people, if anybody, that can catch him. But we had to come back out, and we played very good defense. We strung a play out. Great job by Dylan Dejan stringing a play out. And, again, they popped a little bit of run on us. We were a little soft inside, but we come in. Logan does a nice job getting up, tipping the ball. We hold them to a field goal, and now we're up 20-6 late in the third quarter. And Anthony comes in. He calls off Noah Zarang. We had been getting sky kicked, and we'll get sky kicked the rest of the year. But Anthony comes in here and just one of the really, really great touchdown runs I've ever seen is about to come up. I don't know if we kept it because there was a penalty right there, which was an unbelievably poor call. Right. But, it is what it is. And then Anthony takes off. Unfortunately, it gets called back for what, in my opinion, was really poor officiating. But we're able to run the clock. And right now you're up, 2 touchdowns, and it's just about playing stout defense, which we were doing. We get a deep ball, and Lloyd does a nice job ripping hands down on a deep ball, getting the ball out on an incomplete, and really kind of made them run the ball. At this point of the game, as crazy as it sounds, we were more comfortable with Emory running the ball because the clock was ticking. Nice play right there. On an interior pass, second level defend right there by Corey LeBranch, and then again by 41-22, both Dylan and Hunter come up and make a play. We force them to drive long. They get a late touchdown. But then this was kind of the earmark of the game for me. We took the ball over with 7:11 left in the game, and we were able to control this football, just chewing up clock. And that's what we had talked about, just continue to chew up clock. We didn't necessarily need to score, but let's just chew up the clock. And you can see Anthony, with just tremendous effort there, picks up another first down. Right. And this, to me, was the call of the game right here. We call a reverse. We actually wanted to call it the play before, but I told Coach Silva, let's wait one down. We're going to wait one down and pick up what we need to pick up. And again, here's another touchdown that we get called back. And we would have iced the game right there, but we get it called back. We go for it on 4th and 1, and my thinking there, Brandon, was we had missed an extra point, and we had a sophomore snapping because Logan Robert had hurt his finger, and I just didn't want to risk it being blocked like last year when we were playing him. So we went for it. We didn't pick it up, but we were playing great defense all night. The field was long, and we just kind of went after it and got after it, and again, we win the game. Nice play right here by Lane McCulley, holding him in bounds. We get a block in the back on 14. So, that's what it's all about right there, buddy. Winning the game.
Yes, sir. All right. Coach, a lot of people might not notice this, but here on the Prowl, we really notice the unsung heroes of your offense, your wide receivers. Yeah. Jamel Byrd, Michael Gray, and Brandon Johnson are spectacular pass catchers in their own right, but they're sacrificing their receptions to get the job done, protecting Anthony and Jaquan with great perimeter blocking. How do you think that their performance is important?
Well, anytime you get those long runs, it's because you're blocking the perimeter very well, and I hope, Brandon, we can get them some balls. I would love to see them catch some balls because they are skilled pass catchers. And again, you're at practice every day, and we work on the passing game every single day, and I think I've said this before. It's the protection has to be good, the route running has to be precise, the reads have to be consistent, and then the throw has to be good. So there's a lot that goes into it. And I know some teams make it look easy, and I wish we could make it look easy because I know we're going to have to do it as the season goes on. But I never not recognize what those guys are doing. I mean, they're doing a wonderful job allowing us to run the ball because they all block in the perimeter.
Right. Coach, the past couple of years, the secondary has been the Achilles heel of your defense. But Friday, that all seemed to change with standout performances by number 21 Lloyd Jones and number 26 Khalil Mason. How do you feel that these players, like just maturation, like being mature, and helps the team to propel your defense over the edge?
Well, you hit the nail on the head, buddy. Both of those guys now are 2-year starters. So and Khalil's really a 3-year starter. He's played a lot of football for us. And, 3 years ago when those guys were sophomores, we had an excellent secondary, with Eric Gilmore and Chris Marshall and Justin Young and Jamonte Williams. When they graduated about 30 games of experience, and these guys have had to step in and become good football players, and it's just a process of playing. I think simplifying our coverages have helped them out a little bit. Their ability to recognize routes has become very important to them. And then they're athletic. I mean, they're athletic kids, so they're not going to be out-athleted on the edges. And then, that's what you kind of look for in a secondary play.
Right. Coach, the entire team seemed to be firing on all cylinders with the high-powered offense, the stout defense, even your special teams looked impressive, Coach. Can you elaborate more on the importance of the special teams, turning it around from the slump they were in, going back to John Everett?
Well, I think we've done two things. One, Dalton Malonza has become our kickoff guy along with our punter. He has a very good leg, but he's also a good athlete. So if things pop, he's able to make a tackle. And then we've just worked more on executing sky kicks, getting it high up in the air, giving us an opportunity to run underneath it, pinning it as close to the sideline as we can to condense the field. And then, we've just kind of played around with personnel, trying to get the right 10 other guys on there besides Dalton, and all of it's kind of come together for us. So, that's big when you can keep the field long and you make a high school football team have to execute 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 plays in a drive. It's difficult. It's difficult for NFL teams to do, you know. So high school, it's really difficult, and it was big for us Friday night.
Well, that's good. Thanks, Coach. We're going to take a short break, but when we return, we're going to take a look up ahead at the Tigers matchup Friday against the 4-0 Terrebonne Tigers. All right, Coach. Now let's have a look ahead against a surprisingly undefeated Terrebonne team that's running in the Tiger Stadium on Friday. This is one of the biggest games for your team to set the tone from now to the playoffs. What do you feel like your team has to do to ensure a win?
Well, they have some very good skill players, Brandon. Their quarterback is a guy that keeps drives alive with his feet. We have to maintain our coverage balances. Again, it's all about leverage and turnovers defensively, tackling, getting a bunch of guys to the football because they have some good skill kids. 2, 3, the 2 running backs are really good. They're tall at receiver with 4 and 1, and 6 is kind of a Waylon LeBlanc kind of kid who played for us last year. He's an excellent route runner with excellent hands. And defensively, they seem to be pretty stout up front. It's one of the, and I've only seen Terrebonne since I've been at Hahnville, so this is only the 4th time I've seen them. But it's definitely the best Terrebonne team I've seen since I've been the head coach at Hahnville. So, again, it's going to come back to it's not what they do. It's going to be what we do. And yesterday practice kind of got a little long. It lagged a little bit. It was hot. And I told it's a little sluggish. And I told you guys after practice, we have a history. And we should draw on that history of playing really well, then playing really, really poorly. Let's not have history repeat itself. Let's go out, have good practices this week, be crisp, and then Friday night when we play, do the fundamental things soundly that we've been doing soundly the last couple of weeks, and it should take care of itself.
Strive for perfection. All right, Coach. Well, like I alluded to earlier, even casual football fans are surprised. Terrebonne is undefeated coming into Tiger Stadium. As like you were talking about, number 4, number 14, the different players, like. Should we respect this team?
You better respect everybody.
Right.
If you don't, you're going to find, again, go back to Brother Martin week. It's like I told you guys yesterday after practice. It's not going to do us any good to beat Destrehan and then lose to Terrebonne.
Right.
And now you're back to ground zero again. You're actually below zero because then we would be 2 and 3.
Right.
So, it's about continuing to progress to the point where we want to be, which hopefully is playing in December. And so, you have to have an unbelievable, unbreakable desire to win. You have to have that will to win, and you have to have that will to win every single day. And if you don't have it for whatever reason, that's the day you get worse and your opponent gets better. And we just have to go out today, have a very, very good practice, focus on what we need to do to get better, not so much on what Terrebonne's going to do to us, but what we need to do to get better. Let the game plan take care of itself and let our players play to the best of their ability, and we'll be okay.
Okay. Coach, the remainder of the season consists mainly of district games, and you've already knocked down the previous champions in Destrehan. So do you think the Tigers have a chance to run the table for the District 7-5A?
I think we have a chance to go 1-0 this week. That's what I think. And then we'll talk about next week.
Right.
That's what I think about this week.
Take it 1 week at a time.
That's right.
That's a smart thing to do. All right, Coach, thanks for joining us, and good luck Friday against Terrebonne.
Okay, buddy. Thank you.
All right. And you'll be able to catch the game live at our website, presstoplay.tv. Until then, you can keep up with us on our Twitter and Instagram at presstoplay. That'll do it for this week's edition of On the Prowl. I'm your host, Brandon Thomas, and we'll see you next week.